it's unbelievable. And the fact that these people, I mean, how narcissistic, how arrogant, how entitled do you have to be like, these are my life choices, and now I'm going to make your life hell until you don't eat meat 100%. Or eggs or cheese either. This is utterly ridiculous. This actually started off as quite a funny story.
Vegan activism can be passionate, but some take it to absurd extremes. From storming restaurants to screaming at strangers over burgers, these vegan Karens turn everyday meals into dramatic battlegrounds. When does advocacy cross the line into pure chaos?
I'm vegan because of the environment. I think the meat and dairy industry just contributes way too much to our environmental issues, and so that's why I decided to go vegan.
I've been vegan for almost 3 years. I kind of just followed like blogs and stuff, and then I found out I had like high cholesterol. I like cold turkey just like quit it. The more I learned about it and educated myself, the more I wanted to keep going.
Jubilee's Odd Man Out is a show that thrives on deception. The concept is simple. Put 6 vegans in a room with one hidden meat eater and let them figure out who the imposter is. If they successfully vote out the meat eater, they win. If they fail, the meat eater walks away with the cash prize. Seems harmless, right? Well, not when a full-fledged vegan Karen enters the mix.
Brandon, yes. What do you eat for breakfast?
This morning I had buckwheat hot cereal, add almond milk and some water.
Okay. Who eats buckwheat in the morning? Like, I know people do.
The moment the game starts, one contestant, a self-righteous vegan woman, immediately locks her sights on a guy named Brandon. While most players are warming up with casual introductions, she goes straight for the interrogation. Her first demand? Brandon, what do you eat for breakfast? Brandon, just being his regular self, replies with something innocent: buckwheat. That was the wrong answer.
You just had buckwheat?
I eat buckwheat every single day for breakfast, and I feel like that's a normal thing. But everyone acted like it was a weird thing.
I'll be honest, I eat everything on bread. I have to. Because like, I'm a recent vegan. I've been vegan for like 5 months.
Karen's face twists in confusion and disbelief. Buckwheat, she exclaims, as if Brandon just confessed to eating unicorn meat. She repeats it a few more times, each time sounding more appalled. The poor guy tries to explain that it's a normal thing to eat, but she's already made up her mind. Buckwheat, according to her, is such a strange and suspicious breakfast that it must mean Brandon is secretly munching on Big Macs behind closed doors. Her vegan senses are tingling.
Also swap out the sour cream and the cheese. And yeah.
Don't they use eggs in their wraps?
I hope they don't.
Yeah, I hope they don't either, because then that wouldn't be vegan.
I don't know why she was coming at me. I don't know if it's like the way I look. I don't look like a vegan.
From that moment on, she treats Brandon like a criminal under investigation. When another contestant, Jalen, tries to talk about his transition into veganism, she interrupts him. She doesn't care about his story. She needs to expose the meat eater. Every time Brandon speaks, she picks apart his words like a detective solving a murder case. She even questions his Taco Bell order. When Brandon explains that he swaps beef for beans in his crunch wrap, she isn't satisfied. But don't they use eggs in their wraps? She asks, as if she's finally cracked the case. Brandon, clearly exhausted, shrugs and says he hopes they don't. That's not good enough for her. Her obsession with exposing Brandon reaches its peak when the group finally votes him out. The red light turns on, signaling that the meat eater is still in the game. Brandon was innocent. The realization hits her like a ton of tofu bricks. She was wrong. You'd think she'd handle it gracefully, maybe laugh it off. Instead, her face contorts into pure frustration. The meltdown begins. She looks shocked that she, the all-knowing vegan queen, made a mistake. It's as if her entire world has collapsed.
Chickens had to die for us to eat our chicken shawarmas? We better send letters to the chicken's parents.
There's nothing like hanging out with friends and enjoying good food. But sometimes, the most unexpected things can turn a casual meal into absolute chaos, especially if a vegan Karen lurks nearby. One group of friends found this out the hard way when their simple choice of lunch led to one of the most dramatic food-related meltdowns ever witnessed.
This isn't funny, guys. You guys are killing chickens. How would you feel if somebody ate you? Oh my God, all the chickens that are dying in the world and you guys are just sitting there laughing. How many of you guys are out there like that? Oh my God.
The setting was innocent enough. Just a couple of people sitting down and eating some delicious chicken shawarma. They weren't bothering anyone, just chatting and enjoying their meal. Enter the vegan Karen. She takes one look at their food and immediately loses it. Her face scrunches up in disgust, as if they had just unwrapped a meal made of kittens. "You, gross. Do you guys have chicken shawarma? Do you even know how many chickens had to die for you to eat that?" she exclaims, her voice filled with horror.
Oh my God, I just can't stand you guys. Why am I even here with you? All these chickens, these poor chickens.
I think she's right. Yeah, I think so too. We got 2 chicken shawarmas where we should have gotten 2 chickens.
The friends, caught off guard, exchange amused glances. One of them, trying to keep things light, jokes, "We should probably send letters to the chicken's parents and apologize." That was the wrong thing to say. Vegan Karen gasps, absolutely offended that someone could joke about something so serious. Her eyes widen, and her voice rises as she continues her rant. "This isn't funny. You guys are eating murdered animals. How would you feel if somebody ate you?" At this point, the group can't help but laugh. Not because they don't care about animals, but because her reaction is just too extreme. One friend responds, "I'd probably be more worried about how I ended up on the menu in the first place." That sends her into another spiral. She waves her hands dramatically, insisting that their meal is a crime against nature. The fact that they're still eating, still enjoying themselves, seems to enrage her even more. Seeing that her words aren't guilt-tripping them into throwing away their food, she switches tactics. She starts going on about all the chickens suffering in the world. She tells them they should be ashamed, that they're supporting cruelty, that they are terrible people. But instead of making them reconsider their meal, it has the opposite effect. They start joking even more, exaggerating their enjoyment of the food, just to push her buttons. One friend even says, "Man, this chicken shawarma is so good. Best thing I've ever had."
SS Sniper Wolf, if you're watching this, if you don't wake up tomorrow, it won't bother me at all. And in fact, honestly, I would be kind of happy.
The internet is no stranger to extreme opinions, but few people have managed to push vegan activism as aggressively as that vegan teacher. She isn't just any ordinary plant-based advocate. She has made it her mission to call out, humiliate, and pressure anyone who dares to eat animal products.
Is a real tough one, because the truth is that she has demonstrated in her videos, the way that she has reacted to me, that she is actually deeply unkind.
One of her favorite pastimes is picking apart videos of people who have never once spoken about veganism. She takes completely unrelated content and twists it to fit her narrative. One of her biggest targets is Call Me Chris, a popular YouTube and TikTok comedian. Call Me Chris has no connection to vegan activism, but for some reason, that vegan teacher has decided that she must be educated on the horrors of eating meat. Chris could be making a simple sketch comedy video, and that vegan teacher will turn it into an opportunity to lecture her on why eating bacon is the equivalent of committing a crime. It's this level of obsession that has made her one of the most disliked vegan activists on the internet.
And then there are people like Vegan Teacher who pretend to have empathy, pretend to care, when really you're lying to yourself. Also, this woman does not have a drop of empathy for other humans. She even made a video called "When the Twin Towers Came Down, Many Animal Eaters Died. Was this a good or bad thing?" The fact that you even mention that shows your lack of empathy for humans.
Her tactics are intense. She compares eating meat to racism, homophobia, and other serious issues, which only makes people take her less seriously. Instead of using rational discussion, she relies on guilt-tripping, emotional manipulation, and aggressive shaming. She posts reaction videos where she dramatically gasps, cries, and stares in disbelief as if she just witnessed the worst crime in history. One of her videos features her watching footage of pigs being slaughtered, and she puts on the most exaggerated performance of heartbreak, pausing the video to take deep breaths as if she's about to pass out from sadness. While animal cruelty is a real concern, her over-the-top theatrics make her look insincere rather than convincing.
Humans suck. But what's up with Vegan Teacher? Does she have friends? Does she have family? To me, it seems like she's by herself all day with infinite time on her hands. Like she has all day to record these videos, make all these TikToks.
One of the most frustrating things about that vegan teacher is that she doesn't just encourage veganism, she forces it. She believes that if you're not vegan, you are a horrible person. She refuses to acknowledge that people have different diets, cultural traditions, or even medical reasons for consuming animal products. Her approach is completely black and white. You are either with her or the enemy.
You know what? That vegan teacher's right.
I mean, to be fair, she got thousands and thousands of subscribers from my videos. No matter how many people disagree with her, think she's stupid, there's always gonna be some Karen or some fool out there that's gonna be like, I actually like her.
She has even called out Gordon Ramsay, one of the most famous chefs in the world, trying to shame him for using animal products in his dishes. Ramsay, of course, didn't take her seriously and instead turned the whole thing into a joke, calling her a vegan donut. The internet loved it, and that vegan teacher was left looking ridiculous.
I hear you have a problem with these gentlemen having a barbecue here at the lake. What's going on?
Backyard BBQ parties are supposed to be fun, right? Good food, great company, and a relaxing atmosphere. But when a vegan Karen shows up uninvited, things can take a turn for the worse. One man found this out firsthand when he hosted a BBQ party, only to have a self-righteous vegan guest show up and try to shut it down. What started as a friendly gathering quickly turned into a ridiculous argument about the ethics of eating meat.
No, not for a charcoal grill. No charcoal grills are allowed. Do you want to see it? Yeah, I gotta try and get it. You must not have looked up.
What kind of grill are you not allowed, and why are you so bent out of shape over them being
because
here?
it causes extra money from our city to do things when children get injured because of improperly disposed.
Everything was going well at first. Guests were arriving, the grill was heating up, and the smell of sizzling meat filled the air. Everyone was having a good time, until Karen walked in. She was a friend of a friend, and while the host knew she was vegan, he didn't think much of it. He had even gone out of his way to include vegan options on the menu, just to make sure everyone felt included. But that wasn't enough for Karen. As soon as she stepped into the backyard and saw the meat cooking on the grill, she went into full meltdown mode.
He has done nothing. He's been sitting there chilling the entire time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all feel a lot of pressure to not do anything in the first place, because as soon as anything happens, you know, it's like going to be somebody's fault, and it's not going to be her.
Like a gentleman the entire time, despite her being super aggressive.
She marched over to the host and started lecturing him about the horrors of the meat industry. She didn't ask if he had vegan options or try to have a civil conversation. She went straight into attack mode. "Do you have any idea how many innocent animals were murdered for this?" she demanded, her voice dripping with outrage. The host, trying to keep things calm, explained that he respected her dietary choices and hoped she could respect his. But Karen wasn't interested in respect. She was on a mission.
I just looked at the map and it said this map is fine to barbecue.
No, it's not.
It
for
does.
Charcoal. Not for charcoal.
Not a cut.
You can have
I just
a
send it to you?
non-charcoal grill, but not a charcoal grill.
Okay, well, this is exactly what's the problem with Oakland today.
As the party continued, she became more aggressive. She started following guests around, trying to guilt trip them into putting down their plates. She told them they were supporting cruelty and that eating meat was as bad as committing a crime. People tried to ignore her, but she wouldn't stop. Then, things got even crazier. She announced that what they were doing was illegal and threatened to call PETA. Yes, she thought serving beef at a BBQ party was against the law.
She's invading people's personal space, man.
And they're not. It's not like they're dropping coals and making. I mean, like.
She's not from around here. That's some gentrification shit.
From my park. My park.
At this point, guests were starting to get annoyed. Some of them left early just to avoid the drama. Others tried to reason with her, but it was useless. She was convinced that she was the only person in the right and that everyone else was evil. The host, completely fed up, finally told her that she needed to leave. That's when she made her final declaration. "You'll regret this," she said. "I'm going to make sure everyone knows what kind of person you are." With that, she stormed out, leaving everyone in stunned silence.
So as a vegan to vegan, of course, I just wanted to know how we feel about beef and cheese taquitos.
What I'm gonna say, that's not the topic that is part of this class.
Hey, fuck you.
What the?
I'm a vegan. That's ridiculous.
Virtual meetings have changed the way we communicate, bringing people together from all corners of the world. But sometimes they bring together people who definitely shouldn't be in the same room, like a group of passionate vegans and a meat-loving troll. That's exactly what happened during an online vegan cooking class, when someone decided to crash the session just to cook a steak on camera. What followed was absolute chaos, and the reactions from the vegan participants were priceless.
My name is Reverend Chef Beth Love, and I'm your host and your facilitator today, though Chris is helping me with the hosting duties, and we are going to have a fun time together.
The class was meant to be a peaceful gathering of people who wanted to learn new plant-based recipes. The instructor, a kind and enthusiastic host, welcomed everyone and started the session, expecting a smooth lesson on fruit-based dishes. However, one participant had different plans. As soon as his camera turned on, it became clear that he wasn't there to learn about vegan cooking. He was there to ruin it. Dressed in a full chef's outfit, he dramatically held up a raw steak, placed it on a sizzling pan, and let the sound of searing meat echo through the call.
Okay, I know there are vegans in the room.
Anyways, I was saying I was a vegan, but you know, everyone eats steak here and there. Let's be honest. Like, we all like steak.
So, so I'm gonna ask Chris, remove that young man.
No one likes steak here?
The reactions were instant. Some participants gasped, their faces filled with horror, as if they had just witnessed a crime. Others angrily unmuted their mics, demanding that he stop immediately. One particularly enraged vegan, a true Karen of the group, went into full meltdown mode. She started ranting about animal cruelty, calling the steak eater a heartless murderer, and claiming that he had no soul. The troll, unfazed, simply flipped his steak, letting the juices sizzle while taking in the outrage.
Basically changes his name to Anne and types something crazy in the chat, and it looks like Anne said it, and everyone just starts looking at her weird. And the funniest part about it is she didn't even know, so everyone was just kind of looking at her crazy.
By trying Google Meets, that's true. Okay.
I'm gonna change my name to Marie.
% or less turnout, and I think that's because I tend to. Oh. So people know that and they don't show up. So I may have to start. Okay. There's some nasty language going on in the chat. I don't know if that's...
A few people tried to de-escalate the situation. One participant calmly suggested that they ignore the troll and move on with the lesson, but that was easier said than done. The longer the steak cooked, the more enraged the vegan Karens became. One woman, visibly shaking with anger, furiously typed in the chat, demanding that the host remove the intruder. Another just flat-out rage quit, slamming her laptop shut, as if that would erase the whole experience from her memory. The host, clearly overwhelmed, attempted to regain control. "This is a safe space for vegans," she said, trying to remain professional. But the troll wasn't done yet. He took a bite of the steak, chewed dramatically, and let out an exaggerated mmm, making sure the entire class could see how much he was enjoying it. That was the final straw. More participants started leaving, some yelling obscenities as they logged off.
What animal body part is in your burger right now? Someone's body is in your burger right now. That is animal abuse. Imagine yourself in this position.
Fast food restaurants are no strangers to protests, but when a well-known vegan activist known as Vegan Booty decided to take her fight to McDonald's, things got very weird. Standing outside the restaurant, she delivered an unhinged speech about the so-called animal holocaust, hoping to guilt-trip customers into abandoning their burgers. Instead, she became an internet meme.
How does it make you feel? Yeah, but how does this footage make you feel?
McDonald's is one of the most popular fast food chains in the world, serving millions of people every day. It's not exactly the best place to convince people to go vegan, but Vegan Booty didn't seem to care. She stood right outside the entrance, megaphone in hand, and started shouting about the horrors of the meat industry. Her voice carried through the streets, startling passersby who were just trying to enjoy their meals.
Where animals are subjected to abuse, rape, and murder.
I've got chickens on my farm. I wake up in the morning at 6 a.m., grab the eggs from my chickens, and I go, cook up some eggs, and I go, ride my horses in the morning and come to work.
She didn't hold back. She compared eating meat to mass genocide, throwing around shocking words like torture, rape, and murder as families with young children walked by. Parents exchanged uncomfortable glances, clearly annoyed that their kids were being subjected to such graphic language while eating their happy meals. Some tried to ignore her, but others weren't as patient. One dad, visibly frustrated, told her to take her protests somewhere else, but she wasn't about to back down.
How does this make you feel?
Meat is meat at the end of the day.
How does it make you feel? Yeah, but how does this footage make you feel?
Things escalated when a guy, probably fed up with the noise, decided to troll her in the best way possible. He walked right up to her, pulled out a big, juicy burger, and started eating it right in front of her face. He took slow, exaggerated bites, making sure she saw every chew. She lost it. Her face twisted with rage as she screamed at him, calling him a monster, a murderer, and an ignorant meat eater. But he just kept eating, enjoying his meal even more as she yelled.
All their guests, and then enjoying themselves, because this is a fun dining experience. Well, at least it's fun for us.
A quiet meal at a restaurant is something most people look forward to. Good food, good company, and maybe a little break from the chaos of daily life. But for one group of diners, that peaceful moment was shattered when a self-proclaimed vegan activist decided to hijack their dinner and turn it into a full-blown guilt trip. Armed with nothing but a megaphone, a dramatic monologue, and a bizarre story about a chicken named Snow, she stormed in, hoping to turn meat eaters into overnight vegans. Instead, she became a dinner-time spectacle.
What's been your favourite day and your least favourite day?
My favourite day is Monday and Tuesdays because we're closed. And least favourite is every day from when we open.
The restaurant was packed, with customers enjoying their meals when the door swung open, and in walked a woman with the determined look of someone about to educate the world. Without hesitation, she marched to the center of the room and cleared her throat, demanding attention. Some people glanced up from their plates, confused, while others kept eating, assuming she was a lost customer looking for a table. That assumption didn't last long.